And welcome to Up Next Live ahead of another big weekend for the club Summer Bash. Hope we will all see you there. We're going to spend the next however long until we all get bored of each other's company and we all want to go and do something else with the rest of the evening. We're going to talk about the season so far, the dynamic and various other aspects of Featherstone Rovers ahead of a big one in York against York this coming weekend. In the company of our head coach, Sean Long. Our new director of rugby, Mr. James Ford is here, ladies and gents. We have our new signings, Daniel Smith. And Ads Howe is here as well. And we may be joined by Jonathan Ford and Mark Corella, who are just, I think, showering after training. So we might see them if they pop up in a bit. We might not, we'll see. Sean Long, first of all, because I know I want to get you on that M62 before it's too late, having spent over 2 hours on it myself coming over here tonight. Good luck, by the way. How are we? We're 11 games in, played 11, won 11. You've been as dissatisfied as you have been happy in a lot of the interviews I've done with you so far this year, which is always a good sign, I think. You've got 100% record and the stuff you can work on. What's your progress report 11 games in?
I'm happy where we're at the moment. Obviously, if you'd have said to me at the start of the season, would you be 11 from 11, I'd have took it. I still think there's a lot of improvement in us going forward, defensively and attackingly. I think now we're getting some more bodies back on the field. You know, our strength in depth's a lot better. You know, Adzi coming in, Smiggy's coming in, Hank's back this week, Mark's touch and go, Mark Corella. So competition for places. I still think, like I said, I think we've got a lot of improvement to go, and I think we've got to challenge ourselves to get better as individuals and as a team collectively, because teams now are chasing us and they want to be the first team to beat us week in, week out. And it goes, no matter who you play, whether it's York, whether it's Barrow, whether it's Toulouse, they're all gunning for us. So we've ultimately got to keep improving each week, each day, putting in a good performance, and then I'll be happy when we do that. I think we're probably running in about third gear at the moment. Got a few gears to go.
And third gear, 6 points clear at the top of the table is not a bad place to be, but as you know, as everyone I think in this room knows who went through the toil of last season, that points difference doesn't really matter at all in terms of what the end objective is at the end of the year.
No, we spoke about that when we first came in. The end game is to go back to get back to Super League. You know, I mean, that's my end game. That's the players' end game. And you know, it's pointless being 6 points clear and 11 from 11 when if you don't time it right. So I think, you know, at some point we've got to spell some players and give them a little breather, so that we time our run right, and then by the time we come back to the playoffs, we're flying, and we don't make the same mistakes of what we made in the last couple of years. Yeah, so, you know, that's key.
What about you? You're, I know, still learning, loving coaching, still loving learning as well. When we sat here to launch the season, you were very excited. There was a really good feel around the room, as I remember. What's it been like in terms of what you might expected it was going to be like coming into this job a few months into it now?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. You know, I was a little bit nervous at first taking your first head coaching job at Feather. You know, it's a big club, and you know, I was a little bit scared, if I'm being honest. But you know, after a few weeks settled in, the fans were outstanding. All the players bought into what we wanted to achieve. How we pride ourselves in working harder than every other club in the competition. Pride ourselves on being grafters and gritty, but also having the smarts and the skillful, the skill set what we've got out on the field. So, you know, I think the fans made me feel really welcome, and like I say, I like being on the field with the lads. I like being coaching on the field with the boys. I like learning every day of new things, whether it's a drill, whether it's a rugby match or whatever. So like I say, I'm learning every day, which is great, and the boys are feeding off that. So, you know, all good. I'm really, really pleased.
And that's something, isn't it? You've been really conscious of the people in this room, the fans. This being a real heart of the community. I know, speaking to a lot of the guys in this room, it's something probably your predecessor might have struggled with a bit, that engagement with the fans. He's not here to defend himself, so we won't talk about that. But I know that's something you, when you came in, very conscious to do. And when I hear every match day, I'm looking for you and you're off talking to the fans in some corner or another. It's a really key part of your job.
Oh, 100%. You know, without the fans, we wouldn't be here. And that we said that from day one. You know, hopefully, you know, when we walk off the field after every game, to see the lads are putting the effort in, and you know, they care, we care. So without them, we won't be where we're at now, I don't think.
What can you tell us about your two new signings who are sat up on this top table with us tonight? And how excited are you about having these at your disposal?
Oh, very excited. Obviously, Smiggy's outstanding Super League player. Very, very skillful, very smart, very smart IQ. Just what we need, I think, with losing Elijah Taylor for a while. He's the link between the pivots and holds that middle third together. And he's got a big engine, so well experienced. So really, really glad to get him on board. And Adzi as well. Soon as I heard he was available, I got on phone to Justin Albrook, who used to coach with St Helens a long time ago, and he made the move happen pretty quickly. So Adzi only found out probably on a Monday, and he was here on the Wednesday, so it was a bit of a shock for him. But really, when you get the signings of the calibre of what we've got here now, it just shows the progression and where we're at as a status, as a club. Do you know what I mean? They could have gone to, I don't know, Salford or Lee or wherever, but they're coming to Featherstone, and that just shows the progression we're taking and going forward to become a Super League team.
How's he been so far, Hads?
Yeah, he's enjoying it. You know, he got, like I say, he got off the plane on the Wednesday, and you know, he was straight on the field on the Sunday against Witness, and had 25 minutes and loved it. He's been good. Natural footy player. You can tell straight away looking at his clips and watching him play against Witness. He's just a natural footy player. So you know, he'll fit in really well.
Before we let you hit the road, I've got to ask you about the halfbacks, that being your position, and you've had a few makeshift pairings there already this year. How frustrating, first of all, that Riley Dean's gone back?
Yeah, quite frustrating. Obviously, we've had 5 different spine partnerships this year in 11 games, so it's hard to get a bit of cohesion between your spine. But with, you know, Riley was doing really well, but you know, it is what it is, isn't it? It's a loan deal and it's a callback deal, and he's impressed that well for us that Warrington called him back for play Super League. So you know, it works hand in hand. You know, Riley will be back with us next week or week after, but I think Thomas has been playing really well. Thomas Lacan has been outstanding. You know, he's learning all the time, and he's willing to work hard, and he's a tough little rooster. Obviously, John O'Ford's back this week, so that'll help him out. And then, you know, Kayla Baker's been solid as a rock at the back. So, on one hand, I'm sorry to lose Riley, but on the flip side, I don't think Thomas deserved to lose his jersey, if I'm being honest. And that's how I kind of picked my team.
You've got to find somewhere to play a fit again Mark Carella as well at some point. Might he go in there?
Yeah, I spoke with Mark today. You know, I'd like to give him half a game. It's not a full 80 minutes coming back from an ACL, so we're managing that, and we're looking at that going forward.
Anyone got any questions for Sean before he gets in his car? Now is your time. Elijah
Taylor's got another scan on his eye in 2 weeks' time. At the moment, he can see properly, but it's just as in vision, he's not impaired, but it's red at the moment, so he has to go back for another scan on his eye, so we're not too sure yet.
Anyone else? Or can we start the engine?
Mark's said welcome. Come on, Mark.
Oh, hello.
Cheers.
Thanks for popping in.
And Johnny Wolford.
Short long, ladies and gents. Cheers, mate. Not a bad substitution. 1 off, 2 on. Be good to use that at the weekend. John O'Ford and Mark Corella are here, guys. Let's have a word from one coach to, well, a coach, but now a director of rugby. James Ford, great to have you here, first of all. Tell us a little bit more about how this move for you came about and what the dynamic's going to be like, and I guess what your key responsibilities are going to be here.
Firstly, just want to say thanks to the club to bring me in. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Started here as a player. Looking around the room, I can see some familiar faces. Really looking forward to reconnecting with you. Maybe not so much Suggy, wherever he is. Spend a little bit, probably avoid that guy. That's for the better of my health. But yeah, listen, Featherstone to me is a club that's made an immense amount of progress since I was here as a player, and as a coaching against this team, I always wanted to beat Featherstone. I always had them down as the, well, my saying was, if you go past Featherstone, you end up in Super League, and that was our aim at York. We couldn't get that done very often, I think, if at all. You know, and what's the saying? If you can't beat them, then join them. And Mark obviously took me up on that, and there's a lot. Look, Sean's responsibility is to get this team in Super League, and the top and bottom, but my responsibility is to give Sean what he needs to get us in Super League, and I'll be looking at a range of different departments across the club to give Sean the best possible chance of doing that. And from what I've seen over the last 2 weeks, what I will say is we've got an absolutely outstanding head coach at this club, and I'm really looking forward to building a relationship with him and helping him achieve the success that I know he's capable of.
And has Longy himself been kind of welcoming him to you coming in and the chance to work together, or you know, is he looking at you thinking, what on earth are you doing here?
Listen, I go back to myself as a head coach. If I was at York 11 from 11 and the chairman wanted to make some changes in and around, you know, I'd be a little bit. I'd have had some questions, and me and Sean sat down. We discussed it in great detail, and we made it really clear what my role is and what my role is not. That's what. Yeah. So my role now will include getting another microphone.
Yeah. Top of the list tomorrow.
Yeah, we just I think we want to work together. You know, and obviously the priority at the minute for Sean is to win rugby league games and keep that side improving, you know, collectively, individually. And my role is to start making plans so that when we get in Super League, and I'm hopeful and very confident that we do, we can stay there.
At the risk of asking a really boring question, therefore, how hard does the whole IMG stuff make your role here in terms of what you want to try and achieve? Bearing in mind, at the moment, it could be strive for promotion, get into Super League, and then there could be issues out of your control, could there not, in terms of whether this club stays there?
Yeah, that is very true, but you know, we focus on the things we can control and invest all our energies and efforts into those. You know, this club's got fantastic facilities. You know, you look around the ground, and I've been in a lot of Super League grounds this season, and they're on par, if not in front of a lot of clubs. You know, we're very embedded with the local community, and you know, we're important to rugby league, in my opinion. And Sean's doing a great job. These boys sat either side of me have been doing and will continue to do a great job. And what's central to that as well is you guys. You know, I always envied the amount of support Featherstone got when I came here with York. Now I remember one Easter game, and there were about a couple of hundred young men with the tops off for 80 minutes, swinging the shirts around their head. They literally didn't stop for 80 minutes. It were a fantastic performance from those supporters, and I'm looking forward to being part of it. I will leave my top on. Got a rig like a melted welly. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing those Featherstone supporters getting behind the team and cheering us on into Super League.
What about the style of play? I mean, Longie's gone now, but a lot of people look at this club and the team and the way it's playing and think that looks like a Sean Long team. Is that something that you see, an attacking flair, an exciting team? And is that important that the team looks good, is good to watch, or is it all about results?
Well, how the team plays, that's up to Sean. You know, obviously, he's head coach and he's in charge of what they do in training and what they do on the field. I'm here to look after some other things and help Sean do that to the best of his ability by taking some responsibilities away. I think the team's a very powerful team. I think we've got a big set of outside backs. They're really hard to handle and get on the front foot. We've got some middles who are also big, strong and hard to handle. And we've got some really talented footballers as well. And from the 2 weeks I've been here, you know, the detail of Sean's attacking plan is good, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing it in action on the weekend.
We'll talk about the weekend in a bit. You know York as well as anyone, so we'll build up to that game in a few minutes' time. Let's bring in a few of the other guys. Maybe Daniel, say hello officially to you. I know when I spoke to you during your kind of temporary couple of weeks here before it was permanent, you were very much enjoying it. How does it feel now?
No, obviously good to get it over the line now. Obviously I was on my way out at Castleford, and they gave me opportunity to come here and play, and I snatched it out of their hands really, and yeah, I'm buzzing that I'm here.
What's the conversation like when you look to come here, to come somewhere like here, and what are you saying about your vision, and what are you wanting to hear about the club's vision that persuades you this is where you want to be?
Nothing really persuaded me, to be honest. I came here in 2019 and I knew what this club's about, so I already knew what Featherstone wanted to do, and that's the end goal, is to get into Super League. So I jumped at the chance, obviously, to come, and hopefully now we can reach that.
Yeah, what do you think this particular team, this Featherstone side, can achieve? We know what the goal is.
Yeah, I definitely think that we should be in Super League, and like I said, hopefully we can do that end of the year.
And you look around this team, you've played with some very, very good players in Super League. As Sean Long said, you're a Super League player playing here at Featherstone now. You look down this table, you look around the guys you've just been on the training pitch with. You know, what do you think of the quality in this side?
Yeah, you look at the 17 that's going to take field at a weekend, and there's talent everywhere. You've got your youth that's coming through, like you just said there, Thomas, the French half, young kid, and then you've got experienced guys like Jono, and you've even got Junior Moores there on bench. Yeah, there's talent everywhere, and it's just great to be a part of.
Let's speak to Ads as well. Should we pass the mic down and say hello, I think, to our other new signing?
Thank you.
How do you sum up what the last week or so has been like for you?
It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Like Longy said, found out on Monday and then was on the flight on Wednesday night and then landed Thursday and straight into training. But yeah, it was lovely.
I'm guessing you don't really do sleep then, or?
I got pretty used to it. It was pretty tough, but yeah, I love it.
So, how did it all come about? I mean, Sean Long said it from his point of view. He found out you were available, wanted to get you in as quick as he could, and you were straight on a flight. From you sitting there at home and now sitting here, how did it all happen?
So I was originally meant to be going to Lee's, but they were sort of stuffing it around, and then sort of Longy just reached out and said, if we can get you here ASAP, we'll get you here. And then once he showed that he had confidence in me and had faith in me, I sort of just took it with two hands and tried to get on the next flight.
And you know what, that means a lot, doesn't it? When, as a player, and you guys will know this, when a coach wants you and reassures you that he really wants you, that's almost it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to play for that guy because he wants you.
Yeah, it was real touching to just hear someone like Longy, was a quality player, quality coach, just to hear him instill that belief in me and want me to get over here ASAP.
Do you remember him as a player?
Now, I watched a few highlights of him when I was at Oz.
How old are you?
18.
Wow. I mean, I feel incredibly old anyway, but so you watched a few of his old videos, right?
Yeah, it was a gun.
What are your first impressions of him, like as a coach?
No, yeah, he was good. Like he was how he was over the phone, real welcoming. Was straight up with me with his what he expects of me, what my role is in the team, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better guy.
And what is it you want to? You're at the very kind of start of your career, really. What is it you want to achieve? You come over from Gold Coast. I'm sure you've got lofty ambitions. What are those ambitions?
Obviously, to help take Featherston to the Super League. I love it here so far. Obviously, my goal is to play NRL, but while I'm here, just enjoy it and yeah, go with the roller coaster.
And for those in this room, myself included, actually, haven't really seen much of you play. Give us I read that you're an aggressive Tongan kid from Australia, so I can kind of picture what you might be like out on the pitch. But give us a sense of when we see you in the shirt for the first time, what we're going to get.
I don't know. I sort of like to let my actions talk, but like it says there, just aggressive, young, but eager to learn.
And enthusiastic, I can tell just by speaking to you tonight. You love the game, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love the fans as well. It was real warming to, when I had my first game against Witness, just to see the crowd come out. I loved it.
Well, we might, if anyone's got any questions, we'll ask you in a moment. Let's have a word with Mark and with Fordy while you're here as well. Injury updates, I guess, from both of you. Oh, a round of applause first of all. I guess injury updates from you both about how you doing. We might see you.
Yeah, so I got cleared to play last week. Thank you. So yesterday was actually 9 months in surgery, which
Wow.
to every surgeon and specialist in the world after an ACL, that's like good to go for everyone. So been 6 weeks now training with the team, and just unfortunately just didn't get picked for this weekend. It being a big match and stuff, I think Longy wants to sort of drip feed me in, because going straight into a 80-minute game after such a long period off probably isn't the smartest decision, especially long term. And obviously Caleb's killing it, so I got to really fight for my spot back.
How tough is it? Give us an insight to, we're a room full of non-professional athletes, I think most of us. Give us an insight into what it's like, that layoff. I mean, I've got an injury at the moment. I can't even run. It's doing my head in. So I can't imagine when it's your livelihood as well and you're missing being out there with the boys, just how tough that is, just to get you back fit, but also mentally dealing with it. It must be really difficult.
Well, obviously in the beginning when it first happened, I was shattered because, I felt like we were on a roll when, just before it happened, and obviously couldn't achieve the goal that we set out to achieve last year. But once I sort of got my head around, and I spoke to family and friends and that, and they said, it's going to take 7 to 9 months. The type of character I am, I just sort of said, well, all right, if that's the time, that's the time. I just got to put my head down and knuckle in. And the hardest part's actually been the last month, to be honest. Yeah, because I'm close, Like it was like, one more week, and then you pass your final test and you're like, oh shit. So, no, but I've had plenty of support, especially from the big fella next to me and that, and the boys have all been great, and Longy's been amazing, and I get amazing messages from people, from fans and stuff on my Instagram and that, who that sort of keeps me driven, and it's not long now.
And what have you made of the side's progress since you've been having to watch it rather than be out there playing in it? The table looks good. Doesn't mean anything yet, we know, but it's a healthy lead, played won 11. You can't really ask for a great deal more so far, even though Longy continues to do so.
No, I mean, well, where do you go? 40-0, you know what I mean? 11 from 11's pretty special. I think we've still got a few boys coming back from injuries and that, so I think there's still a couple of levels to go for the team. I think as well the weather's going to start factoring in. The way Longy likes to play, I think the dry weather is going to really benefit us. And yeah, it's just the way that the boys are going at the moment. Each week seems to be progressing, and we seem to be pulling ourselves away from the teams below us who seem to be fighting between themselves. And I think if we just keep focusing on that and building each week, especially come finals time, I think we'll be firing.
That's great to hear. John O'Ford, let's have a word with you. Great to have you back in the mix, fully fit, firing.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, so I've had 2 weeks now, training full time with the boys, so I'm ready to go.
What have you made? I mean, Mark's kind of quite eloquently summed up how well the side's doing and how frustrating the injury side of it is. You know, similar aspect to you, albeit not a long-term one like Mark, but being in and out of a side that is targeting a very specific goal. How have you found this season so far?
Yeah, for me, it's been like, I took it as a blessing in a way because I learned a lot about the team from observing the game outside of it, so I could just watch and analyse the game a lot more, so I could probably take time, step back and realise where can I implement my energy and my sort of, you know, my skill set to maximise the team and to help the team. So I just looked at it as a blessing because, you know, I couldn't change what happened. It was sort of a freak. You know, I got twisted the wrong way. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't sort of, you know, anything was out of my control in that instance. So I just took it on the chin and said, well, I'm, you know, just trying to learn and see how I can help the team along while I wasn't here, while I wasn't playing as well. I was still trying to be out there and, you know, picking up cones or whatever it was, whatever I could do, because if not, I'd just do my head in, just sitting there doing nothing else. So, because I love footy and I love being around the boys, so I may as well do something for them.
Sean Long was talking about the number of different, you know, pairings in the spine and the halfbacks that he's had to use this year. But glowing in his praise for Thomas Lacan. What have you made of Thomas and how he's risen to what he's been asked to do as still a very young kid?
Yeah, he's done really well, and I think he'll only get better. He's still got the language barrier, which, you know, for myself and Mark, we understand. That is a big challenge because he's running through the game in French, and then he's got to translate that into English, and then still under the pressure of being a half. He's still, you know what I mean, it can get a little bit frantic for him, so I think he's still got his best footy to come. He's a good, hard-working kid. Like, I love working with him, and he's always asking me questions, and he's challenging me as well. So yeah, I really enjoy being around him and his company too. So he's a good find and a good lad. I watched him play actually when I was back in France, and I saw him, and I was watching my other mate play. And I saw him, I was like, this kid's a good player. He was playing hooker at the time, and he was having a go. So, and I was really impressed by him. And then by chance, you know, three years later, I'm you know, lacing up boots next to him, which is pretty cool. So.
See, if these guys were all proper teammates, everyone would be learning French just to make him feel more.
There's a few people learning French. BJ tosses it out like he's.
Tyler speaks French.
Yeah, Tyler speaks French. So yeah, there's
Gadwin, obviously.
Gadwin. Quasi speaks a bit of French. Yeah, like I said, BJ mumbles a bit of French. He's never been there, I don't think, but he tries his best for the boys and he wants to learn. So, but yeah, it's cool. I think it's good for the club and good for the community too. Like it's sort of, I think it brings people together because they've got to understand different cultures, and it brings a uniqueness to the team. And you've got to realise that everyone's different, and that's where we can maximise, you know, other people by sort of opening ourselves up to other people's cultures and other people and creating new relationships and things like that. So it's really cool, and it's really cool for the club and the team. So I'm enjoying it.
I love that there's a little pocket of France in Featherstone. I think it's fantastic. Just one more in terms of your leadership role that you've got this season, and Killer said how helpful you've been throughout his injury as well. Just give us a bit of a feeling to, you know, what the leadership group takes on and how that is part of your job this year.
Well, for me personally, I'm sort of I just do my best to help other people, be a service to other people. That's in playing or whatever it is. So if that comes across as leadership, and then that's leadership to me. But Longy's been really good. He's sort of put a little crew of us together, and we have meetings, you know, throughout, you know, every couple of weeks, every week, or whatever it is. Whenever he pulls us in, we just have a little chat together. But he's the one asking us, what can he do? what can the club do, what can he do, the coaching staff, what can we do to improve, and then we're sort of, you know, posing the same question to him, and he, you know, we're bouncing off each other, so it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it's just been a service and trying to help people. I think that's the best we can do.
Just before we have a final look ahead, probably with 40 to the York game at the weekend, and let all the boys go. I mean, I'll open it up to you guys. If there's any question for any of the guys up here right now, I guess now would be a good time to ask any of the guys anything you would like to know, within reason, of course. If there are no questions at all, then it's an early night for the lads. In which case, let's look ahead to this weekend. Oh, there we go. York, you will know a lot about.
You know so.
You will know so, yeah. All the pressure on you to help get a positive result, I guess. What about this fixture? What about the Summer Bash concept as well?
Firstly, the York Featherstone game, you know, for me, obviously there were, I suppose, an unofficial connection between the clubs in 2017-ish. I won't go into much detail on that, but it made to us from the York side, it made this fixture very, very special. It was something that when the fixtures came out, we looked for a York Featherstone fixture, and I've just spoke to Lockie a little bit about it. I know that the Fed boys had a lot of respect for the York team, and they knew it would be a tough fixture. And I'm going to, obviously, quite frequently Featherstone got out on top of us. I would expect the same this week. I think York will top this game up. Obviously Featherstone top of the league. Obviously, it may or may not be mentioned. Obviously obviously I've come and may add a little bit more to it. I don't know, but we expect to see the best version of York. A tough team. They'll finish in corners relentlessly and get off the line and try and belt us. But from what I've seen from this team, we're a very big, strong, physical side that's getting on top. And then when we get on top, we've got so much speed and ability with the ball. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
And I guess that is the challenge, isn't it, for you, for Longy, for all these guys on the pitch. When you get to a position where Rovers now are in the league and in the season, and you get the prime Saturday night TV slot, everyone's wanting to see Featherstone beaten, aren't they? That's kind of part of the job now.
Yeah, but I don't know if that changes Featherstone. I think every team wants to beat Featherstone. Certainly here, as a player, when I left the club, I wanted to beat Featherstone, and your teammates do. They are, without doubt, the biggest club in the championship, and they have been, first or second in the championship for as long as I can remember. Competing in grand finals, beating Super League teams in Challenge Cup. Anybody who's got out about them wants to come and beat Featherstone, and we know that. So every single week we need to sit up and give the best version of us, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it on the weekend.
We're very much looking forward to it as well. Hopefully we're going to see most, if not all of you, at Summer Bash. Final request for any questions. Oh, by the way as well, we have a last chance to buy raffle tickets to win a signed Bash shirt. The Bash shirts, by the way, are gorgeous. Aren't they good? Aren't they fantastic? They're... yeah, we got raffle ticket. Last chance to buy a raffle ticket if you want a signed Bash shirt as well. See Jack maybe about that. Any questions before we all go on our merry way?
What's your thoughts of it being at York with Bash this weekend? Does that change this?
Well, Featherstone win at York and Featherstone win, don't they? Look, so I think the Summer Bash concept's good for teams outside the Super League. It gives it its event, and do I think it's fair? One team's ground, no. And that was my opinion when I knew that York were when out the club. But ultimately, it is there. There's nothing we can do about it. We're prepared. We've had a fantastic 2 weeks of training. I've been blown away by the standard of training this last 2 weeks, and we'll go there whether it's at Post Office Row, whether it's at Blackpool, whether it's at York. You'll go there and produce a really good performance and take the points back to Bev.
Any more questions from the panel? Yes. The new young man has. There you go, new young man.
I think you're going to get your tea tomorrow night.
Nah, AFL? Are you talking about AFL?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't play AFL. Nah, I didn't.
We've got an AFL scout in the audience. Right. Any more? Any more tonight? Yes, mate.
Yeah, I just think that we've got a fantastic team, and it sort of signs that it boosts everybody up. You know, we're a proud club and everything. You know, remember you were playing anyway. But Daniel is a great sign, and this young fellow who wants to meet up witness. I think you missed first tackle, didn't you? But after that, he kind of got stuck in. And I remember you two ripping as a new, when he played it, it's been fantastic watching you all. So let's have a great weekend, bring us a win back.
It's not a question, but it's a great sentiment. That's probably a great note to wrap up on tonight as well. We're all looking forward to a big weekend. Thank you for your brilliant continued support, and thank you to the panel tonight. The new kid, Atal. The old boys, Mark Corella and John Ford. Our new director of rugby, James Ford, to my right. And our new old boy, if that's fair, Daniel Smith. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we have, and we hope to see you at the weekend as well. That's all for Up Next Live. Thank you for your continued support, and we'll see you next time.